Design Salvation, Episode 7.
This is Design Salvation, your lifeline to better design with Dixie and Annie. Our mission is to share our conversation with you so we can all elevate our work and lifestyle. Welcome to the fold. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is Annie.
And this is Dixie.
And we're here, Design Salvation. We're glad you've joined us. I wonder how many listeners we have now.
Ooh.
10?
Maybe, if we're lucky, you and me.
I hope so. We have so much fun. I hope people are tuning in.
I'm sure they are. It just may be a little bit of a slow process for people to find out where and who and what we're all about.
Well, we hope you find us because I think there are a lot of creatives out there with the same questions and likes and dislikes that we have.
I agree. I think that we are going to be a community before it's all said and done.
That's our
like-minded people that have interest in design and want to talk about design and want to learn about design and life.
Exactly. And you are my little community, and you've been gone for 2 weeks.
I know.
So we haven't even caught up.
No, it's crazy. You know, I rolled into town, about a day and a half ago, and it's been kind of crazy ever since. But I just got back from a fantastic trip to Spain and Portugal.
And I've never been to Portugal.
Well,
so I want to hear.
Both places I had never been to. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say I adored Spain. Everything about it. The food is great. The wine is great. We were in Barcelona. We were in Madrid. And we did some traveling back and forth. We even hopped on the train to go between the cities. Mm-hmm. But when we got to Portugal, I pretty much fell in love.
You swooned.
Oh. Heart swoon. And we stayed an extra day. We were supposed to go back to Madrid a day earlier. And as it turns out, we just were like, no, we're going to stay in Lisbon and spend the time here. It is so magical there. Everything about it, Annie, you die. So those of you that have been to Portugal, you know what I'm talking about. The food is got a different flair to it. Definitely, you know, the whole seafood thing, but it's lighter in its taste and the overall just atmosphere of the people and how friendly and knowledgeable they were. And then the lovely, lovely city itself. Whoa, it has a castle right in the middle of the city, the whole thing.
That's moving to the top of my list.
Yeah, you got to go.
Okay.
You got to go.
Well,
so anyways, but it's always a little crazy. I mean, we were gone 2 weeks, just shy of, or maybe just a little bit over with travel. And, you know, it's always interesting, the getting ready and the leaving. And this is just one of those things that happens whether you own your own business or whether you work for another business or whether you actually are just, you know, traveling for pleasure and don't have any huge responsibilities work related, but you're family related.
No, I think that it's really not fun to go out of town until you've got your buns in the airplane seat. And then you take a deep breath, but not before.
Oh, it's terrible.
And then it's great and you forget everything for 2 weeks and then the reentry really stinks.
The re-entry is really hard. As a matter of fact, when I got back, I've already had to rearrange appointments that were already set. I've already, you know, had delay in delivery of some, you know, freight into Seattle, and I'm having to rearrange, you know, regarding that.
But you're good at preparation and getting. You're really, really good. So what did you do before going out of town to make sure your clients didn't have aneurysms while you were?
Well, yeah, exactly. So, you know, the best thing that I can do is to prepare people. But, you know, when people tell me their travel schedule, I don't remember it.
That's so true.
So I always try to put it in writing,
That's
in an email.
That's really smart.
So that they have it, they can go back to it. And there were a couple of people that I actually even just quickly texted. And some of those were actually clients and some of them were actually workrooms and others were actually friends, family, just to remind them that I was going to be gone. But I had to project the work that needed to be accomplished while I was gone. So I had a little list for Lulu, who's my intern that we've talked about before. And I also had touched base with every one of the workrooms and had made sure that they were on task for the deadlines. And I'd reached out to the contractors and the builders and had made sure that they understood that I was going to be gone, and was there any deliverables that I needed to give them before I left. And some of them had unrealistic expectations. I'm not going to lie to you. And I was like, that's not going to get done before I leave.
And the world won't end.
And the world will not end, and you will have to rearrange. And, I had one big snafu where the builder just completely forgot that I was leaving to go out of town.
Lord.
He had scheduled the on-site hardwood flooring color choice while I was gone.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So how'd you manage that?
Well, so I had already talked to the contractor that was doing the hardwood flooring, and I let him know what my expectations were in terms of their walnut floors. Well, I didn't want the sapwood, which is the light part of the floor, to be like this stripy thing going on. So I didn't want dark and light in these particular floors. It would just wreak havoc on the whole design. So I said, you've got to eliminate the sapwood. And I talked him through what I was trying to accomplish. And I also actually gave him some samples. And I actually used the same stain that he was planning to use. And I said, you're going to be between this and this. And I really want it to look like this. And he said, you know what? If we get close, I'll put the top coat on. And we'll cover up the floors as we normally do and put the last coat on. And if you want to tweak it when you get back into town, you can. So we did prepare and kind of put the calm on the project, because clients were freaking out that I was not going to be in town for this selection of the hardwood
Well, it's
flooring.
so nice when they rely on you for these decisions, but it does have the difficult part of it, which is when you're not there.
The builder was very aware that he had kind of messed up the schedule by scheduling it while I was gone. It should have been done before I left. But you know what? Schedules flux and change, and you just have to kind of roll with it and whatever. So I did as much prep as I could. I tried to line up appointments for when I returned. A lot of people, they get really nervous when you are going out of town and they have no...
That's a good point. They need to know when they get you again.
When do I get to see you again? You're going to come back into town. You're going to be so busy. And so what I did is I visited with the clients and I said, let's meet on this day or this time when I return. And then they kind of backed off and allowed me to get ready to,
Nice.
fly across the
Okay, so back to that hardwood
country.
though. Because some people might not know, how does your hardwood guy manage that sapwood part so that it's less active?
Yes. So the first thing that he does is we cull as much sapwood as possible when they actually nail down or glue down the hardwood itself. So I usually tromp around in the middle of the piles of the hardwood, as it usually gets dropped to the job site and then it has to acclimate.
Right.
Especially in our climate, it has to acclimate. So we sit it in the garage usually and let it acclimate. And I'm tromping around through there and I'm blue taping every piece of hardwood that I do not want in a prominent area. He can put it in a closet.
Yep.
He
Under
can
a
put
bed.
it, in a storage area, or he could even put it in the pantry, but don't put it out in the middle of the living room.
But sometimes those soft spots pop out once they put the stain on.
Correct. And so what I was saying to him is that if we get a dark enough stain that at least it won't be like yellow blonde.
Yes.
It will be, at least a nice softer tone of brown. So we ended up going like, 2 parts this and 3 parts of that to get this nice color. And the guy that is on this particular job, he's really knowledgeable. So we were able to kind of guide each other into where we wanted to land at the end of the day.
I think that's the trick, is to pick the right partner.
Always.
And I've
in life,
I've
seriously.
had quite a few floor guys who think they know more than they do, or rather they know a lot, but only in their one lane. And they're not super flexible or willing to work with me. And I don't choose to work with them again.
Yeah. I mean, that's good for you.
It's
That's exactly what you have to do. Is
Everything has to be
recognize.
collaborative.
Yes. You
And
have to
sometimes I
recognize
have to talk guys into being collaborators with me. Like they'll just say, it can't be done that way.
And you're like, okay, let's back up for a second and try to problem solve this.
Yeah, and I have a very tired line that I use.
Ooh, I want to hear it.
You can put a man on the moon and you telling me you can't do X, Y, Z, you know?
Ooh.
Right?
And does that work?
It totally works.
That's got an attitude to it.
Like I say it really sweetly, but I don't say it quite like that. I say it like this. Okay. So it seems like if we can put a man on the moon, we can figure out a way to get this accomplished.
Okay, that sounds a lot better.
That does sound better. And then the other thing I'll say is, okay, if this were your house, how would you want this to look?
Very good.
Because then once they personalize it, they're more willing to go the extra mile.
Absolutely. That's kind of brilliant. I haven't done that before. I've never used the man on the moon thing. I like that.
So many times.
I like that. I might have to steal that.
Well, except we haven't put a man on the moon in so long.
Well, this is true too.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I may need to come up with something new.
Wow. No, I don't know what I say, but sometimes they it's a disaster. But most of the time we do come to, that middle ground and we find something we're really happy with. It's just like we've said before, though. I have certain things where I'm really willing to fight for it because it's so, so vital to the success of the design. There are other things that are less so, and you just have to kind of know which of those things that you can back off of and which that you can't. So anyways, but the hardwood thing worked out fine, but it was definitely a fire drill the day before, or less than the day before I left. Like the night before I'm leaving to go out of town, I'm, working the details out with the hardwood flooring and stuff.
Y'all know who are in this business or in the creative business. Yes. I think 98% of the job is problem solving. So we have to be super flexible.
It always is.
In fact, we were working with a creative this morning.
Yes, we were.
And I think it's interesting when this can happen with. I'm going to talk about this in the client context.
Yes.
When a client says, "You have your vision as a designer," like you and I are like, "This is how it's going to roll," and they're buying off on it, and then all of a sudden, they come up with a piece of art and say, "Oh, I just bought this beautiful piece of art."
Well,
it destroys the vision.
It does destroy the vision, but you have to roll with it.
You have to roll with it. You have to go, okay.
More times than not, you have to roll with it. There are some situations where you can actually say, wow, this really took us off course.
And this is challenging.
This is challenging, and I need some time to figure out how we're going to incorporate this and also accomplish our goals for this room or this space or whatever you're working on. But at the same time, it is their house, it's their money, it's their life, and we are here to...
We are the hired help.
Yes, we are here to pull it all together.
Don't be a prima donna.
Yes, don't. No.
There are designers out there who...
will do that.
They will do that. I don't suggest it. I really don't.
I think there are
times when I put my foot down, but
in
a polite way.
But I think that the clients that we have interviewed with or have interviewed us or however you want to phrase it, there's this chemistry and there's this kind of understanding that, there's a little ebb and flow, there's a little give and take, and that it's teamwork. And at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to live with it, and they're the ones that have to pay for it.
I have a darling friend. She's my client in Dallas. Hi, Diane.
Nice. What's her name?
Diane.
Diane. Okay.
She's the
Diane.
best. But she'll send me little pictures for me of things because she's very talented herself. She has a great eye, but she'll send me pictures of things, and I know her so well that I can just say no. The other day, she sent me pictures of some light fixtures we had sort of generally discussed, and she was getting very specific and moving forward, and she texted me the pictures, and I literally just said, no, that's ugly.
Now, how long have you worked with her? Let's be for real.
You got to know your client really
There's
well.
only so many people that I could actually do that with.
And I do it partly because I know she'll come back at me with a bunch of cuss words.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I love her to death.
Dunk on you, Annie.
Yeah.
That's really great. Yes, I do think there's just you have to be flexible. And that just goes back to when, I was headed out of town. I just had to do the best that I could, be as professional and as efficient as I possibly could and try to project. I mean, when you go out of town, it's 2 weeks of losing time. It's no different than any other business, or you've got to play catch up, and you've got to, on the front end, try your very best to be as prepared as possible.
Okay.
So
that's cool. Back to Portugal.
Yes.
So were you just dying to have that pretty accent? I always try and be sort of romantic languaged when I get over there. Like oh, good. I want to have that accent and that little rolling R thing or whatever the heck it is in whatever country.
No,
or do you just stick with your twang?
When we travel, Jay looks at me and tells me to keep my mouth shut because I've got, the crazy Southern twang, and I just butcher anything that is a different language of any sort.
Oh, this is true. Now, I should have known that because you can't pronounce anything in French.
Oh, no.
Yes. Okay. No, you should keep your mouth shut.
I just don't even.
Okay,
don't
bravo,
even say.
Jay.
However, I did really, especially in Portugal, try my best to kind of like ingrain myself into the culture because I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Annie, I got there and all I did for the first probably 2 hours that we were walking around is take pictures of sidewalks.
And you posted nothing? I was annoyed with you.
I only posted one thing that just said it was graffiti.
Oh,
I posted graffiti that
I was
said
looking for stories
that
from you.
I loved Lisbon. It's so funny. It's a personal trip for me. And I'm like, really? How many people are interested in this?
I wanted to live vicariously.
Oh my gosh. But I also put my phone down.
That's good.
The only thing that I did with my phone, honest to goodness, I did not check my texts.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do anything on social media. I did not answer email. I certainly didn't answer the phone. I took pictures, and that was it.
Yeah, I commend you.
And that's all I allowed myself to do. Do you know I didn't even go on Pinterest? I didn't even pull up Instagram.
That's a nice break.
You are not using the phone except for a camera, and I treated it just like a camera. I did not treat it like a phone.
Okay, so now you're home and you can post a few beautiful pictures for us.
I can. I totally can.
I get the break. I took a break because I used to be a very consistent Instagrammer. Now I'm a little more.
You were a rock star.
I'm not so good anymore, but I have my darling friends there. And another shout out to my Twisted Sisters. They're my cute little Instagram group.
See, isn't
I love
that
them.
fun?
I love them.
Are they
so
called
much.
the Twisted Sisters?
Well,
or you just called them that?
No. Our leader, Betsy.
You really have a group.
We have a group, and she named us that. Even though we're so far from Twisted, we're just little housewives, and we like gingham, and I don't know. But we all have this design focus. But she named us the Twisted Sisters. It's some alter ego we all might have. Anyway, where was I? Now I don't even know where I was going with this. I took a break.
You used to post.
Yeah, I used to post all the time. I took a break from January to February.
People noticed. I was at the design center, and people were like, have you seen Amy?
No, I know. They were worried about me.
They were worried about you.
So kind.
I was like, yeah, I just saw her a day ago. And they're like, she hasn't posted anything on Instagram.
I know. That was
and I was like, oh, she's taking an intentional break. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because everybody needs a break from things from time to time. Oh, so everything's okay? Yeah. I'm like, yes. Oh. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We missed her. They missed you.
It's just so sweet. And I missed them too, but I didn't miss the process. It was nice to get away from my phone, but I have to admit I haven't gotten back with quite the same consistency that
I think once you fall off, it's really hard
it's
to
like
get
a diet.
back on.
It's a momentum game.
It is.
Once you fall off the diet, you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. But I think everybody does look forward to your Instagram posts. And with that said, hey, you guys, you've got to go to our IG.
Oh, yeah. We need followers.
It's design.salvation.
It doesn't matter, though, babe. They can put in Design Salvation.
If you put Design Salvation in, it's going to pop up. You're going to see our logo. It's got our, little picture on it and what have you. But you do need to follow us on Instagram for sure.
Please do.
Because
we'll keep you up to date.
We will both be posting. It's not like just Annie's posting or just I'm posting. We'll both be posting. So, you're going to get quite the plethora. I might even take a picture of, I don't know, maybe my clean desk.
Oh, show off.
You never know.
Show off.
I know I am a show off.
Well, we have to keep you posted on where we're going and what we're coming up with because we have endless topics. And we would love, the one thing we haven't done, and we've talked about it, Dixie, and we have to actually do it now.
Okay, let's do it.
We haven't taken questions.
Oh my goodness.
We want questions from y'all.
We do. Okay, so this is the deal. If you go to our website, there is a contact page.
Oh, there is?
And via the contact page,
you
can send us an email.
Mm-hmm.
And in that email, feel free to ask us any questions that you might have. We are happy to answer them.
How specific can they get? Really specific, right?
I think pretty specific.
I think so.
Yeah. And if they get a little cray-cray and we're like, oh, then we might not air it. But if someone has a question that is legitimate, of course.
Well, of course. And it feels like everyone would benefit from the answer, though.
I think so. Yeah. Most people do. And most people, as we've mentioned before, going through the same stuff. You have the same kind of issues and challenges and all
Everybody needs a sounding board, and we're here for you. I mean, I use Dixie on my design issues.
Likewise.
And I use my daughter.
Picking your brain this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's so fun.
Yeah. Well, and we had another one of our Business of Design meetings just yesterday, so it's very fresh in my mind. I think
that's fun. I want to hear about that.
It was really, really good. And it's another community to solve
problems. Yeah.
And we all just need that. And it's inspiring and it's comforting.
So what did you talk about? What did you learn? What was the format? I mean, how do y'all, when you get together, what does that look like or sound like, I guess?
So we eat.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have a little lunch.
That's always good. That nice. Always builds community.
Mm-hmm. It does. And we don't drink, though. Like, we're having rosé here today.
Oh,
and
yes, we
that's
are.
building community beautifully.
I put just a little bit of sparkling seltzer water.
Well, even better. Mm-hmm. But it had a really pretty label. But do you know what it is? You never know what it is. No.
I never know. I just, what? The thing with rosé is I don't like rosé that's really, really strawberry, cherry, sweet, sugary. So I go through the aisle at the grocery store, wherever I'm at, the Bevmo or what have you. And I'm like, that's got a nice, light, crisp look to it. And then I'm like, that's the right price. Okay, we're good. And I put it in the bag. And
do you, I'm all about the label.
I do love a label.
I love a pretty label.
I actually bought some this morning at the Trader Joe's. And let's see, it was like, $6.99. And I bought it because the label was great. And it was like, rosé from Germany. And I'm like, this probably tastes like garbage.
Probably.
But I'm going to try it because the label was lovely. Okay, so that's
such a Southern thing to say, the Trader Joe's.
No, that's a West Coast thing.
No.
No, that's a West Coast thing.
I don't think so.
Because out here, y'all go, the 405. I'm like, stop.
No, we don't. Those are all transplants. I swear to God.
That's the West Coast California people.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
I don't say the, usually. But maybe that was me coming from Portugal.
Like the QFC, the Bartels. I'm going to do some research on this.
Okay, you do some research on it because maybe that's something I picked up since I've been out here.
I feel like it is. I'm born here. We do not say the.
No, but California does. California says the 405, the 90.
We
drives me crazy.
Okay, that's those are transplants, I'm telling you.
But like with stores and stuff, if I'm being not dramatic, but if I'm really trying to like emphasize where I was, then I might say the.
That's Southern, I'm telling you.
You think?
Hey, everybody, you vote on this. Tell me if I'm right.
Seriously. Y'all are going to have to vote on this because I don't think of that as Southern. We don't say Walmart.
Well, maybe not that one. But don't you have a little grocery store like it's on the corner that maybe you say, I'm going down to the
drugstore?
No.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
We'll do a little research.
No. Yeah, well, we're gonna debate this. I'm gonna see about that. Maybe it's one of those things that I just say and I don't realize I say it, and I get, my mother used to get on to me for certain things like that.
Are we having any inspiring meals or drinks since Portugal? What's coming up for us? Are you going to show
girl,
me?
What I did this morning? Except I'm short on one of the main ingredients. Okay, so I may have drank myself to death in sangria while I was in Spain.
That's a good one
and
to
Portugal.
wallow in.
And I tested a lot of different kinds of sangria. So you could do sangria casa or whatever it is, and it has cava in it, which is basically their champagne or their prosecco. And it's lighter and it's more citrusy. And then you can get tinto or tinta, which means tint, which means red, which means dark sangria. And it is, made with the red wines and has more of the berries and always has citrus, always has orange in it. And they make this with, basically their Spanish, almost like table wine. And everybody knows what sangria is. I used to make it when I lived in Dallas because it's so refreshing.
So
and you put all the fruit
ingredient?
in it. And the only ingredient, the two ingredients that I didn't realize that you need to have is just a little skosh of brandy.
Oh.
And if you want it a little sweeter, just a little hint of liqueur, but orange.
Which one? Cointreau?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's real good. And then I'm missing the brandy right now. I got to go to the store and get some brandy.
Okay, so we're having that next podcast.
Yeah.
I hope. That sounds
and then
I love
tons of
sangria,
citrus.
But I didn't know those were the
oranges and stuff.
ingredients.
Oh, but you also have to put a cinnamon stick in there so it's not
Yes.
sour. And I never knew this. So I've been making sangria for 20 years? And I did not ever know I was supposed to put a cinnamon stick.
And do
not
you
the
like
powder.
the tinto or the...
Tinto.
You like the red.
And I like the red, and I like it with a little addition of fizzy. And you can do that with seltzer. You can do it with, sparkling water. You can do it with, champagne.
Okay,
Well,
so
or cava.
we will be doing that next time. And what do you have coming up this week that is pressing?
Oh, I have so much pressing. I mentioned earlier in the show that I had some freight that hadn't arrived into Seattle while I was gone. And that was a little bit of a... So I'm, going to have to rearrange my schedule this whole next week to make this delivery. That doesn't sound like a big deal. Oh, the furniture didn't arrive. Well, it is a big deal because the manufacturer was a couple of weeks late in getting it out. And then the freight carrier, of course, didn't pick it up on the days that it was actually sitting on the loading dock. So I'm a month behind.
And all these things come back and reflect on us.
And of course, they have their whole family coming into town. So I'm doing an installation, believe it or not, this Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Wow.
So
Holy cow. You're
I'm a
hitting
little
the
bit
ground
like,
running. No jet lag.
Yeah, I don't have time for jet lag.
You don't have time for jet lag.
No, not
So
at all.
speaking of ordering and things that can go wrong, I placed an order with a vendor that I use a lot, and I love them dearly. And one of the things they do is they stay on top of me. Like if I start an order, they come back to me and say, hey, Annie, is this one ready to go? Let's put this in the pipeline. And I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Me too. That's part of their job.
Well, I think
honestly.
so. Well, one of the little orders got missed, and I thought it was done and paid for and in process. So now it's like 2 months behind.
Oh, geez. What was it? Is it something big or is it something small?
It's a sofa.
Holy mother of moly.
Yeah. Holy Mother of Moly.
I'm so sorry.
Holy Mother of Moly. Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Or did you just make that up?
I just kind of make things up
works.
as I go.
Okay.
You know how that is.
Yes.
It keeps me from saying something I shouldn't say, but I'm exaggerating the fact that that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So what are your clients? What are you?
I don't know.
How are you handling this?
I don't know yet.
What, you don't know?
Nope.
Like they are aware that the...
Nope. I haven't. I just found out. Because I was there and she was checking on one of my orders that's just hanging out there because the client's not ready.
Right.
Because we have some space planning to reconsider.
Of course.
And she was looking in the file and she said, oh, Annie, this one's still here.
You know what?
Oh.
You know what I teach all of the people that work for me?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're going to teach me now. Teach me.
This is what I teach them. I'm like, you have to be honest when something has happened to a certain degree and without a ton of details.
Yeah.
People do not care about the details. They do not care what happened on what end and how long it took and why it did this and he said and she said and this is this and that and that. They don't care about that. What they want to know is what are their deliverables? What's the expectation?
Yeah, what are the production
How is
dates?
it being resolved?
Mm-hmm.
So you say, I'm so sorry,
mm-hmm.
but the process with which to get this, paperwork on the sofa did not get expedited, and we have a delay with the sofa, and here is the date that it's expected to be here.
I totally agree
and
with you.
You don't
keep
even,
it simple.
and you apologize,
Yes.
and you say, I'm sorry that this happened, but this is the expectation, and this is the deliverable, and it is what it is. And, you know, the thing people that a lot of people forget in our industry as clients or even as the creatives ourselves is that we are human, and that mistakes happen as long as humans are involved.
Yes, they do.
And you just have to do the very best you can to resolve the situation and to do it as efficiently and as effectively as you can.
I
And
totally
that's
agree.
all
And I
you
would
can
never
do.
get upset because I think that's a sign of a lack of character, frankly. I'm sorry to say it that deeply.
I do too.
I do not get upset. It's just go into problem solving mode. Okay.
I agree.
That happened.
Problem solving it is.
Yeah,
This happened.
and especially when it's people that always have your back, always have taken care of you.
Of course.
Stuff happens.
There was no ill intention.
No.
And so it's like, it is what it is. And then if you know what is coming down the hopper and you have an expectation level, then you can work around it, you know? So
at the end of the day, it's just a sofa.
it's not brain surgery.
If the client's really upset,
surgery.
I'll rent them one.
There you go. I mean, there are so many solutions out there.
Yes, there are.
But you know what? That happens. Thank goodness she looked in the file and she noticed that, whoops, this, hasn't been processed. And you know what, Annie? The thing is just like we were saying before, as a salesperson and having been in sales a lot of my career and being a salesperson as a designer, it is their responsibility to follow up with you on that. So it's just as much their fault as it is yours that it just
they're
did
supposed
not
to get the
process.
sale done. I'm supposed to take care of my client. It's definitely a 50-50.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You know, but good for you that you have got it on order now. And this next week you're going to deal with it, you know?
And I think they will try and expedite it a little bit. Knowing
I'm
them.
sure they will. Most people are very accommodating if they understand the situation and if you're willing to be accommodating back.
Exactly.
For whatever reason. So yeah, good luck on that.
Yeah, no, it's good. I love my people that help me out. They're so sweet.
Me too.
They're so kind.
So are you ready for Sangria next week? Because I
I'm ready for
promise
Sangria.
you, I'm going to have a big old pitcher ready for us.
I love it.
Well, actually, if anybody is interested, I could even post the recipe.
Oh, please. Yes.
Wouldn't
We're
that
all
be
interested.
something?
Please post it.
Okay, we will. So
We
you'll
will.
have to tune in to next week.
Well, and I thank you for sharing about your trip, and we're putting Portugal at the top of the list. We may need some pictures.
Oh, okay. I'll try to do
All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
All right. So send in your questions.
Please do.
And ciao for now.
Ciao. Hey, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also find us at designsalvation.com, where we'll have the past podcasts listed as well as show notes. Hope to see you there.